fellow Nevillers, welcome back to the channel. Neville O'Clock, I'm Sarah, which is Neville O'Clock. Today we're going to dive into chapter 9 from Your Faith is Your Fortune. We've been running through the whole book, we're about halfway there. This chapter is called The Foundation Stone. Sounds important, right? And it is. Because consciousness is the only reality. Neville here in this chapter is drumming into us. There can be nothing else that changes anything out here in our 3D except that foundation stone, which is, you know, I'm going to poke my forehead because that's where our consciousness is. Well, that's where I say it is, up there. All right, fellow Nevillers, if you haven't already, please subscribe, and then you won't miss any of Neville's fabulous wisdom, sharing every day. All right, let's dive in, my lovelies. So, my lovelies, all through the book, each chapter is opened with a Neville quote, with a Bible quote. Here's today's. It's a long one. He says, "Let every man take heed how he buildeth thereon. For other foundations can no man lay. That is laid, which is Jesus Christ. Now, if man build upon this foundation gold, silver, precious stones, wood, hay, stubble, every man's work shall be made manifest, for the day shall declare it." 1 Corinthians 3:10, 11, 12 and 13. What this means to me, my lovelies, is really, for other foundations no man lay, that is laid, which is Jesus Christ. Now, I don't know how long you've been in Neville's works, but we are Jesus Christ. I'm Jesus Christ. You are too. It's a principle in us. So, Neville tells us the foundation is Jesus Christ, and he says, now if man, well, the Bible, excuse me, now if man build upon this foundation gold, silver, precious stones, wood, hay, stubble, every man's work shall be made manifest, i.e., it will be made manifest because the foundation is Jesus Christ, our consciousness. You lay it all in there, my lovelies. You totally, what's the word? Fill up your consciousness with that which it is you want to be. Now let me calm down from the Bible quote and go into the chapter. And here it is. Neville says the foundation of all expression is consciousness. Try as man will, he cannot find a cause of manifestation other than his consciousness of being. Man thinks he has found the cause of disease in germs, the cause of war in conflicting political ideologies and greed. You know Neville's going to give us a no-no. All such discoveries of man, catalogued as the essence of wisdom, I think Neville's going to give us one of those. He says, are foolishness in the eyes of God. So man, i.e. generic man, you, me and everybody else, we catalogue what we know as the essence of wisdom, but it's foolishness in the eyes of God. And why is that? what we said at the beginning of the chapter. The foundation stone is Jesus Christ. It's our consciousness. When we change what we have in our consciousness, things out here change in our 3D. So there is only one power, and this power is God. Consciousness, it kills, it makes alive, it wounds, it heals. It does all things good, bad and indifferent. Let me give you a personal share, my lovelies. The word kills that Neville used up in this chapter right here, I didn't actually kill anything, but what I did with my thoughts, i.e. my doubts and fears, each summer the hummingbirds come to visit us. I had a fear and a doubt, well really it was a fear, that they would get caught up in the plastic kind of round part that they stand on to drink. Anyway, to cut a long story short, I'm standing there at the window looking out at the hummingbirds thinking, oh my God, they're going to get caught in the plastic tray that they stand on to drink their nectar. And you know what? It happened. I've done it 2 or 3 years in a row. This time I finally realised my thoughts caused that hummingbird to get stuck. Because what happens, my lovelies, our fears, our most, our most biggest fears, our biggest fears, the things that we're scared of the most, i.e. in my case at this moment in time, or that moment in time, was the hummingbird was going to get stuck. And it did. But me being God was there right at the moment he was stuck. I went outside, I put my hand up, literally. You can't see, I literally went like this, my lovelies. This to me seems like a miracle. I literally went like this, feeling that I was Jesus Christ. I lifted that hummingbird out of that plastic stand and off he flew. This is amazing, fellow Nevillers. I don't know how long you've been in Neville's works, but when you realise you're doing everything out here, it can come as a bit of a shock. It's a bit of a wake-up call is what it is. Be careful what you think, because it's going to manifest and come to fruition. Anyway, that's my drama-rama. Now, at least I can say I do not do that anymore. Alright, back to the book, my lovelies. It's just the word kills and makes alive resonated with me when I remembered what I did last summer. So, Neville says, it kills, it makes alive, it wounds, it heals, it does all things, good, bad, or indifferent, i.e. our consciousness does all of this. Now, man moves in a world that is nothing more or less than his consciousness objectified. And what I just shared with my personal share there is exactly what Neville's telling us here. If you've got any questions, my lovers, be sure to just drop them down there and I'll get back to you, because I'm nothing but a Nevilleaholic and I love to share these teachings. Wake up humanity, one video at a time. Quite a tall order, huh? Anyhow. Anyhow, he says, not knowing this, wars against his reflections while he keeps alive the light and the images which project the reflections, i.e. you can say that you want wealth in your life to manifest out here in your experience, in your 3D, but you go around saying, I don't have money, I can't afford it. What you've got to do, my lovelies, is flood. There's the word I was looking for earlier. Flood your consciousness with wealth. feeling wealthy, being wealthy, having certain scenes when you use your imagination, spending a bucket load of cash, something like that. Of course, there's abundance other than money, an abundance of nature, an abundance of friends, abundance of knowledge, abundance of all sorts of things, my lovelies. So he keeps alive the light and the images which project the reflections, i.e. out here in 3D is a mirror. That's how Neville describes it to us. That's our understanding. I must do some videos on mirrors and how this is ourselves pushed out. Everyone in our world is ourselves pushed out. So we keep the light, which keeps the images, i.e. we keep focusing, which is the light, focusing on the images, i.e. it's a mental image. Your fear is just a mental image. We went into it the other day that you can use Neville's technique called revision, link down there, my lovelies, because it's powerful. You can change that mental image which is keeping alive something out here that you no longer want to resonate with. You don't want it in your 3D anymore. Then he continues, I am the light of the world. I am consciousness is the light. That which I am conscious of being, my conception of myself, which is our self-concept. More links down there, my lovelies, such as I am rich, I am healthy, I am free, are the images. Those are the images which you keep alive in your consciousness by keep focusing on them and thinking about them. We have to not focus on what it is we don't want. And trust me, fellow Nevillers, you can do this. I've done this and you can too. It takes persistence and determination to not focus on what it is you don't want out here in 3D and focus on your 4D realm, which is your imagination, and focus on these things Neville's saying here. I am rich, I am healthy, I am free. Those are the images that you want to hold in your consciousness, or whatever it is you're trying to manifest. Not trying, that you are manifesting in your reality. Now, one more clue. The world is the mirror, magnifying all that I am conscious of being. Stop trying to change the world, since it is only the mirror. Man's attempt to change the world by force is as fruitless as breaking a mirror in the hope of changing his face. Now Neville gives us one of his most famous lines, or one that I've remembered and I view as one of his most famous lines. It's at the beginning of his book, At Your Command. The line is, leave the mirror and change your face. Leave the world alone and change your conception of yourself, i.e. your self-concept. When you change your self-concept, you'll see changes out there in your 3D. And trust me, my lovelies, it works. He says, the reflection then will be satisfactory. Freedom or imprisonment, satisfaction or frustration can only be differentiated by the consciousness of being. Regardless of your problem, its duration or its magnitude, careful attention to these instructions will in an amazingly short time eliminate even the memory of the problem. And I can testify to that, my lovelies. He says, ask yourself this question: how would I feel if I were free? The very moment you sincerely ask this question, the answer comes. No man can tell another the satisfaction of his desire fulfilled. Totally true. It remains for each within himself to experience the feeling of joy of this automatic change of consciousness. And it is quick, my lovelies. One day you're kind of down in the dumps wondering what's going on, and the following day you wake up in the morning, or in my personal experience, and you've expanded, you've forgotten all about your problems because you focused on their solution. It takes persistence and determination, my lovelies. He says it remains for each within himself to experience the feeling and joy of this automatic change of consciousness. The feeling or thrill that comes to one in response to his self-questioning is the father state of consciousness. You know, when you're quiet and you're concentrating on nothing in particular, just actually being, that state of consciousness is father. That's where all your answers come from, my lovelies. It says his self-questioning is the father state of consciousness, or foundation stone upon which the conscious change is built. Just how this feeling will embody itself, no one knows, but it will. The Father consciousness has ways that no man knows. It is the unalterable law. All things express their nature. Now Neville goes into telling us how we wear the feelings, so we'll leave it right here and split this chapter into two. The first part is vital, my lovelies, about leaving the mirror and changing your face, which it roughly means changing your self-concept. I'll leave some links down there because we have to identify what our secret inner self is, and it can be quite a shock, or mine was. Most people I've met on my journey and in the group I belong to, Neville Goddard Mystic Teachings, everyone that comes in there, well, 90% of people that come in there with a problem or an issue, who, what, where, when, how they're blaming. And actually it's us. It's done via our consciousness and our self-concept. There's a fabulous lecture from Neville, Changing the Feeling of I. That's the one we refer to help us identify our secret self, which is our self-concept, and we change it. So the chapter, my lovelies, the foundation stone is your consciousness. You can't change anything out here in your 3D until you've changed your consciousness. So let's have fun doing that. All right, my lovelies, please give the video the thumbs up. YouTube loves it and so do I. I'm not going to leave you without a big fat kiss, because we're all about love up here. Leave a comment, subscribe, thumbs up, and I'll see you next time in part 2 of this video. Bye, guys.